Am I live? I don't know what's going on. This thing's not, the other one that I had set up isn't working. Let me put a thing over there. All right. Hopefully people can find this. Normally I do these things around 8 o'clock. Well, I started to do these things around 8 o'clock on Fridays because DoorDash is usually really busy. Tonight it was just like a total tease, wasn't doing much, so I decided to do it now. It's kind of like put out or get out type thing. I wasn't going to wait around. So here we are. I don't even know what to talk about tonight. I did have somebody yell at me for using this Japanese sauce because it's got a little bit of oil in it. The last ingredient, organic toasted sesame oil. It doesn't even show up on the label. So, is this thing going to focus? I don't know. 0 grams of fat. I think it's ridiculous. People get a little too anal about this stuff. Ever tried potatoes and cabbage soup? That's what I brought to work. Yeah, that's a really good combination. That is a really good combination. Nobody is perfect, not even raw vegans. No, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, if you can't have a sauce that you like because it's got a little bit of oil in it, I mean, come on. Get real here. It's ridiculous. It's just some of this over analyzing things is just not for me. If it means that I store a little couple extra pounds over the years, whatever. If you really look at anybody who watches my channel, anybody who I talk about, or anybody I interview, our diet is so much healthier than like 98% of the people out there, and everybody's going to die. So, I mean, at some point, you got to just say to yourself, this is just getting out of hand. Yeah, the fat phobia is extreme sometimes. Yeah, I mean, come on. The last ingredient, unfortunately, this thing won't focus on it. It doesn't even register on the total fat grams. I mean, and it's not like I'm guzzling. I mean, this thing's been sitting here for when did I first show this thing? Like 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, it's not exactly like I eat or drink this stuff down. It is good, but I'm not, it's got too much salt in it anyway, so I don't really like salt, so I can't use too much of it, as it were. Bro, not doing my protocol. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, During Rider's going to yell at me for not doing his protocol because there's a little bit of sesame oil in this thing. Why every time I got this thing, I got the burps. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I don't even know what to talk about today. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know if you actually want to do group coaching or coaching at all, because I really got to figure out how to do that and when and where to do that at. Healthy Crazy Cool Miles is far from fat phobic. Is that a YouTube channel? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is at all. If you're still here and you can hit the like button, because it actually sends it out to people. I feel like they're putting a shadow ban on most of us who are talking about the high carb, low fat life these days. It's really getting kind of difficult. And while we're in the beginning of this, getting started, ramped up here, the new channel, if you could go check that out too. I'm still on the fence on what I'm going to do with both of these channels. Speaking of channels, I've got Get Fit with Natasha coming on here, and I got Georgie. It looks like Georgie's coming on next Wednesday. Get Fit with Natasha. I don't know. We've been playing message tag here. Crazy cool. He's a decent sized channel. I'll have to check him out. Is it a he? Yeah, I'll have to check him out. So anyway, I'm going to put up one of those writing posts, a create post or whatever. Let me know what questions you have for Georgie. I got to figure out what questions I got for Georgie too, because he doesn't exactly eat like, the people who watch this channel, but I do like his knowledge on sugar and what sugar is and isn't, for the body. Some of the stuff that I see about sugar anymore is crazy. I think every one of these lives that talk about these DoorDashes that I go do, I'll get, because it tells you the calories, especially like if you pick up from Little Caesars, it'll tell you the calories. and each pizza is like 3,000 calories, and then they're getting like Diet Coke, like it's saving anybody. Slightly Crazy Vegan is pretty cool. I feel like that would be a good name for my channel because I feel like a crazy person most of the time. That's a pretty good name. That would fit my channel quite well indeed. Another thing I wanted to address. I know if I watched some of my old videos, I probably talked about this and didn't even listen to myself. But I've been doing walking every day since Sunday. And I tell you what, anybody with digestion issues, if you go for like a half-hour walk, especially if you go out in the wilderness, your digestion issues will disappear with that walk. It's crazy how much stuff just comes out. It's absolutely amazing to me how much stuff will come out once you're actually just somewhat mobile. You know, one thing that I discount from my previous losing weight is I worked at the post office, and on average, I walked like 10 to 20 miles a day. And I was in house. I can only imagine how much those guys walk that actually deliver the mail if they're if they're not a drive off, if they're a walk off. I can only imagine how many miles a day that they actually walk. If you fart in the woods and no one else is there, did it really happen? Of course it did. The only perception that you have of reality is your thoughts, and if your thoughts tell you that it happened, then it obviously is real. You know, the only reality in this planet is that which your thoughts are, that which doesn't change. Anything that changes isn't real. So the fact that you actually heard it, then that means that in your world, it's a reality. If anybody's here and hasn't hit the like button, if you could hit the like button, that helps them send the video out. Says it's not a shit video and people might want to watch it. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not a huge proponent of. Thank you. I'm not a huge proponent of over exercising yourself to death. You know, I get in a lot of. I wouldn't call them fights. I wouldn't call them arguments, but I do get in some of these kind of heated discussions about this exercise thing in the background and like DMs or over whatever. And it just do what it is that's comfortable that you can actually constantly do. I always keep using this Pritikin book. I don't think I have another one over here. He always talks about doing 30 minutes during the day, each, like twice a day of walking, and that's all you really need. The vegan YouTube community is dead. It's all drama. Happy to see high sugar channels like yours. That is the number one reason that I did not create a channel. I did not want to be a part of those. The drama is just like, I'm like, oh, I had like 0.5 grams of fat today and I'm going to die. And it's like, or something like that. Or like, somebody trying to live on broccoli juice or kale juice. Like, here's the story. So this is how I got started in the vegan. This is YouTube's dead. It pretty much is. This is how I actually got started into vegan myself. This is why I kind of make fun of it a little bit. I got started. I had this cheap. It wasn't even my blender. It was Sandy's blender. It was this cheap little blender. And I would go to Whole Foods, and I was out of work because I was out of work like 50% of the time I was in PA because of the way the lovely employment system out there is, or maybe it's just me. And I was using my food stamps to go get broccoli and kale and all the greens that I possibly could, and I was blending them in a blender. And I went to Sherwin-Williams and I got a paint strainer. And I was straining out the juice and I was slugging down the juice, and I would only eat once a day. And that's actually how I found X-Files. I originally hated the X-Files in the 90s. I thought it was a stupid show. And this is how I found the X-Files the second time and watched damn near the whole thing because I was trying to forget how hungry I was. And this is Sandy's here. And this is 90% of the people that I was watching on YouTube back then, the vegans, they're all crazy people. I mean, I'm not too far off the tree, but yeah, vegan zombies, not drama. Yeah, I mean, they're just like, and this is what you do, and this is what they're just machines, man. It's just, I can't hack it. One of the chronic pain topic pages I followed told me to cut sugar. What idiots. The thing that would help you out. It's like the DoorDash. It's the DoorDash. I'll go get 5,000 calories worth of fried chickens. This happened to me yesterday. I got this huge bag of fried chickens, and this thing of like this weird vat of Diet Coke. I don't even know what this thing was. And I handed off to this lady that's so obese that she couldn't even stand. And she's like, I said, "Oh, you having a good day?" And she's like, "Now I am." I said, "Okay, whatever." It's just, the sugar hate is absolutely nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. You know, the more clogged your arteries, the more clogged everything is with this keto, the less you're watching what's actually going on behind the scenes or in front of you. And the more they can, pull off. Nobody is as crazy as Freely. I don't know. Freely is pretty out there. Freely is definitely pretty out there. She has done lost her mind. From what Durian Rider says, where she lives is like isolation, cabin fever, what's that movie? The Shining types thing, no power, everything's off a generator. Nobody for miles and miles. You got to basically be rich to live there, or go there on vacation once in a while. But yeah, it's hard to watch. Like I keep saying, if I started a video game channel, or if that Ryan Talks, if I paid attention to that more, I'm sure my channels would blow up, and I probably might actually start doing that. I might start just doing lives on this channel and start focusing on the other one, because this getting a scene in this scene on YouTube is really hard unless you're doing like interviews like Jillian does. So I'm either going to do this channel is going to change quite a bit, I think, because I just can't keep throwing time into something that just doesn't want to grow, you know. Like right now, I'm grateful for the 18 people that are on here, but I've been doing this for 2 years now. They would think that they would send this out and I'd have like a ton of people on here. It's just ridiculous. So the comment YouTube's dead. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, if there was any other platform that was even remotely close to the size of this thing, YouTube would be gone. Freely listen to Paul Saladino. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that. He probably was a John Rose, wannabe type person. This whole thing. I know I sound angry today, but there's just been a lot that has gone on in the DMs this week. Hello. I don't know. It's just it's weird because a lot of the people come after me, like all of them combined, I've lost weight more weight than all of them combined. It's just ridiculous. He's a carnivore, MD. I don't know. I don't watch this. The carnivore thing is the worst of all of them. John Rose is the very definition of insane. Yeah, the guy's nuts. Everybody wanted me to do an interview with him last year, and I wouldn't do it. I just don't want that psycho on my channel. Just go back to keto, then back vegan, then back keto. The views will. So if I had a keto channel, I'd have 5 million subs, 5 million people watching me, guarantee it. And I'd love it because I got the personality for it. I can handle the idiocy. Honest questions. Why you think lots of vegans lose their teeth? I think a lot of people lose their teeth. It's not like dentistry is new. I feel better eating high sugar carb, but do worry about teeth. Why? Because in 5th grade, you put your tooth that fell out in Coca-Cola that has a lot of acid in it, and the tooth rotted away. This is what people get you with is, you put your tooth in something that's high acid and it eats the tooth away. I wouldn't worry about it. Your body runs off a pH of around 7.4, and sugar's 7 point. I mean, it's not even possible. The vegetable police is in a nutshell. No, yeah, hasn't he switched quite a bit? That's probably why he does have a good channel. He's got he and I got pretty similar personalities. The worst doctor is Ken Berry. Don't have a clue. Got to roll next time. Peace. Yeah, I might not be on here very long either. It's Friday. People actually have lives. I don't. So I figured I'd come on here for a little while and see what it was like. Vegetable police. He's hilarious. Yeah, he is a funny guy. He's definitely a funny guy. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know down in the comments what time. I'm trying to figure out what the best time to do these things is. My girlfriend used to drink a lot of soda and she lost all her bottom teeth. Soda and sugar are not the same thing. There's a lot of acid in I hate the word soda. We call it pop here or fizzy drinks. Soda just reminds me of baking soda. That's not relevant. See, this is the same thing as people getting fat off of eating muffins and cupcakes and cakes and blaming the sugar. There's a lot of acid. The reason there's carbonation in the fizzy drinks is because of the acid that's in there, and that is what rots somebody's teeth out. Or they do chew, or they smoked, or they I would say the number one reason people lose their teeth is they don't drink enough water and their mouth is dry all the time, and your mouth is built to be wet. So if it's not wet, your teeth start rotting out. I used to be addicted to soda, but funny enough, it was the easiest thing for me to give up. It is an easy thing to give up. I really haven't had much of it lately. I got my first pair of Zero shoes. Thanks for the tip. Absolutely love them. They are absolutely amazing. Matter of fact, I got my new ones coming tomorrow. I'm gonna go do a hike. It's like a bumper shoot out there tonight. It is like raining like crazy. So where I normally walk is gonna be really wet. So I might have to find somewhere else to go. But I can't wait. Yeah, they're just an amazing shoe. Dr. Greger said leafy greens are, in fact, the healthiest food, maybe for gorillas, but our DNA is more similar to bonobos and chimps, which are frugivores. Not eating enough fruit is the number one diet risk factor. Yeah, we don't actually have. They have a completely different stomach, and they have a completely different digestive system to eat that many greens. We can't do it. It's actually can be fatal at a certain point. I know Doug Graham was actually talking about that. I don't know if that was in the 80-10-10 book. It might have been in an 80-10-10. It might be. I actually have it on the shelf over there. But yeah, we're just not built to handle that. And on top of the fact that I think it takes something around 20 pounds of the stuff to get you enough calories for the day. Who wants to sit around and eat 20 pounds of cabbage? A little bit of cabbage with some potatoes is great, but haven't eaten cabbage all day or romaine all day or whatever all day, no matter what you put on it, people are going to hear you. People are going to know you're doing it because you are going to have a lot of gas, a lot of gas. And that's actually how I got started. That's how a lot of people get started. Depending on who you find in the vegan world, depending on what they're doing, that's what you're going to do. Why are keto and paleo diets so popular and diets not? Well, vegan diet's cheap, number one, and it doesn't send you to the hospital, and the pharmaceutical doesn't make any money. Keto and paleo aren't cheap. Most of the companies are owned by the pharmaceutical companies, and then they also get you on the other end when you go to the hospital. Well, marketing's paid for. Look at it, like if you really want to dive deep into this, look at who's paying for the marketing, who's in charge of the marketing of all of this stuff. It's probably why my channel's not as big because they hear me saying this because they transcript everything and they read it. But yeah, look who's running this the whole show. It's just you don't have to when you no longer have to ask the question, you know the answer, and once you know the answer, it's kind of disgusting. Animal product industry can afford promotion. Well, yeah, I mean, they're the lobbyists. They're the ones in the schools. I mean, when I was going to school in 800 years ago, I remember they changed out all the Pepsi machines to Coca-Cola machines, and the reason they did that was because Coca-Cola started funding our school. Even back in the 90s. So this has been going on for a long time. And then Big Cheese was funding a lot of the stuff we did. I mean, you get these free computers and Microsoft hands it to you. You're not getting that for free. Nothing is for free. There's a reason behind everything that happens. It's just if you want to look into it or not, it's just, you get to a certain point and you can't go back anymore. It's just kind of like, when I was talking about the Zero shoes, that the shoe industry has gotten to a certain point, it can't go back. They can't say, oh, there's literally no documentation that says that these shoes are good for you. They can't do that anymore. They would be called liars and nobody would buy from them anymore. It's just the way of the world. You can't get mad at it, but you gotta do your own research and figure out what you want to do for yourself. you know? That's just the way it's gonna be. All right. I might, get on heading out of here. I didn't think it was gonna be this slow. Any more questions? I really didn't have anything to talk about. Usually the questions just keep coming. Big business. Everything's a big business anymore. Everybody owns everybody else. Yeah, I've got buddies that are in the acquisition. They all live in Manhattan. They all live there. What did you eat today? I've had nothing but bananas and dates and a little bit of sugar, mangoes. It's been really boring. I got rice cooking right now. How much table sugar do you consume p day? I'm assuming per day. Um, I think I would say on average it's about a cup. How do you find the zero shoes on gravel, sharp stones? Depends on which ones you have. I have all the hiking. I'm like a shoe file. It's pretty sad. It depends on if you have good feet and if you don't have good feet. I don't really have the world's best. So if you really have a hard time with the sharp stones, I would get either the daylight hiker, the excursion, or I'm actually the new one I'm trying tomorrow looks like the best of them all. It's called stay something something. I don't know. Well, check out my short tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about it. Stabilizer mid or something like that. What's your favorite food? If we're not counting fat here, my favorite food is lasagna. If we're counting fat, um, like a really good rice dish or a really good potato dish. What's your sugar water ratio? Oh, I didn't put it in. I didn't put that cup of sugar in water. It was in my smoothies. Do you have recovery sandals? No, those things are pointless. They're like that thick. My recovery sandals are my feet. No, people got to get away from these thick ass shoes. It's really detrimental to your, if you really look at what the orthotics, is that what they're called in shoes, they used to be built for a temporary fix. Like if somebody really hurt their foot, the doctor would build them an orthotic. They would put it in their shoe while their foot was healing. And once their foot healed, then they would just take it out of their shoe. And the reason we still have heels on our shoe is because back in the day when Nike was coming around, if you look at original Nikes, they were all flat. There was zero drop on them. But a lot of the original building that Nike was in was also in a medical building, and a lot of the foot doctors were coming to Nike and saying, look, all of our people are complaining about Achilles pain. Could you do something about that? And that's why shoes started having heels on their shoes. They didn't have them prior to that. So the recovery, you're never going to recover because your Achilles and everything is just out of place. Are there supportive for flat feet? So, all right. So this is the thing that you don't want support. Your foot is your support. Yeah, you don't want arches. Trust me, I have the word, like my foot doctor calls me the anomaly. You couldn't get much stranger feet than I have. Trust me, you don't want any of that stuff. You do not want something. If you were not born with shoes, you're not born to wear them. Do you like bread? Yeah, I like bread. I like the bread that I make the most. I actually usually this time of year I make hot cross buns, but I don't have the mixer. Sandy's going to be back here in what, like 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. So I'll have a mixer again. So maybe I'll make them and I'll make a video. The problem with that is for whatever reason, nobody was watching any of my baking videos. So I stopped making them because it's a pain in the ass to make. And if nobody's going to make it or watch it, then it's just, time wasted. But if people actually want that kind of stuff, then I'd be more than happy to make it. I have such a crap kitchen to film in. The people on 600-pound life need your diet advice. The doctor just tells them to stop eating calorie strict instead of replacing the fat and animal. These people are idiots, man. I'm so tired of seeing this. Why I keep doing this. And this is, my message is stronger than somebody who only lost 10 pounds or 15 pounds. Not that that's not a feat, but like, You really you got to hear it from somebody that was for you cannot understand what it's like to be in a 400-pound body unless you've been in a 400-pound body. But yeah, I mean, the starvation nation thing. I think that's why that Brooke Goldner program works so good. Because if you really look at it, she's just telling people to live off greens and fat. I mean, it's basically keto, even though she destroys the keto doctors. Makes no sense. I tried the autoimmune protocol 3 years ago, and it's basically the paleo with no sugar. Paleo is what causes autoimmune. So I don't know how that would work. Yeah, if you don't, I don't. The reason you get autoimmune is generally from eating sausages or hot dogs or something like that. That had because they grind up the organs of an animal, and then your body finds those organs and glands and all that kind of stuff in your digestion, and it feels like it has to fight it off, but it doesn't know the difference between that and yours. And so it'll start fighting yours too. And then it'll shut, like, say, for thyroid, for example, if you had thyroid and hot dog, and if you had it enough, and if it found it as a threat, it'll start fighting off that thyroid that you just ate, but it'll also start fighting yours, and yours can't work anymore either. So you really got to stop. Um, you've really got to stop what's causing it. My girlfriend's got strange feet. Her toes curl up like fingers. That might be from terrible shoes. I mean, yeah. How long has it been since you lost 100 plus pounds? Do people from your past not recognize you? I lost 140 or more pounds in the first year or so, maybe it was less than 2 years. It's been quite a while. This is why I created a channel, because when you flip flop like I have over the years, you're gonna get fat again, and I've gained some of the weight back, which is why I'm 265 or something like that. But initially, yeah, when I first came out here, I had to come out here for a wedding one time, and nobody recognized me. Absolutely nobody recognized. My mom and dad were having it reintroduced to me to my entire family. Not that I couldn't do it myself, but people saw my mom and dad with me, and they're like, "Oh, you know." But I mean, most of them were not very supportive of it. Most of my family isn't as big as I am, but there is some of it. Um, but you know, they don't really care about that whole thing at all. I'm one of very, very, very few in my family to care about it. Matter of fact, I think on my dad's side, I don't know if anybody does. I've got a few cousins who lost a bunch of weight, but they're in the early life of keto. Um, Once keto really starts ruining them, then maybe they'll come to me. I don't know. Are raisins okay to eat? Yeah, yeah. That is one thing though. I would watch my teeth with raisins. Make sure your mouth is wet with that one. They can dry out pretty good. Anything else? I think I'm going to cut this one at half an hour today. Molecular, amazing. You're a voice needed in this community. Yeah, just share the videos. How did you go from keto mindset to plant based? Seems people will die thinking keto is still A1. Sandy probably initially, because she had lost a decent amount of weight on it. Yeah, she had lost a decent amount of weight on it, and I'm like, something's got to give. I was never terribly opposed to it. I just thought you needed protein like everybody else, and I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. Anything else? I hate to cut this, but it didn't seem like the stream really got out there today. I'll have to create a schedule so everybody knows that it's actually going to be on. That way I can get this thing dialed in, because I love these lives. Yeah, protein. Basically, it was protein life. How would you construct a diet if you had no access to fruit? Rice and potatoes. Potatoes. You can't live strictly off rice, but you could live strictly off potatoes. um, yeah, yeah. If I had no access to fruit, not even canned fruit or bottled fruit or whatever, frozen fruit, nothing. I would actually probably bring oatmeal back into it too. Um, Maybe. Not a lot, but, it would really vary, but I would definitely base it around potatoes and rice. If you could live strictly off of rice, then I'd probably base it more off rice, but you can't. It's just not possible. Now, there's affordability issues too with this. What do you think of dry fruit? Of all fruit, it would be my least favorite, I guess, but it's not bad. You do have to watch with fruit, the dried fruit, because a lot of it's fried. A lot of it's fried. If it looks like nice and plump still, and it's got like the sugar crystals on the outside, chances are they threw that in the fryer, and they don't have to put it on the label either. It's a lot quicker to fry it than dry it. If you look at like some dried pineapple, for example, compared to what pineapple actually looks like when you dry it, it's completely different. So you got to watch with that. I wouldn't want to base the diet strictly off of dried fruit, because unless you're doing it yourself. If you're doing it yourself, if you get, like one of those like 10 stack dehydrators, and you're doing it yourself, maybe you have like a bumper crop or something like that in the summer, then that's a different thing. I did that with tomatoes one time. I went on raw to get parasites out, been on it for 2 weeks, and I've only seen 3 parasites come out. I'm getting irritated. What's the point of getting irritated? It's not going to do you any good. Um, most of the parasites that you're going to see is when people do juice fasts. That's when it really comes out. And some of them are so small, you're not going to see them at all. If your urine smells really, really, really bad, chances are you got a lot of parasites in there, like really bad. You'll know. Like it's like, you know, it happens to me still. Ever since I've been doing the walking too, like it's really been hitting me pretty bad. Like there's a lot coming out lately. But that's why people do the juice fasting, but I'm not a huge fan of it, but if you really wanna get everything out, that's probably the best way to do it, but it can actually screw up your metabolism, and people start using it as, like a weight loss thing. I've been juicing too, but I can't afford juicing all day. Well, if you can't do it all day, then this is not gonna work like it's supposed to. You can cut it with coconut, water, um, coconut water, or like, cucumber, juice or something like that, but if you can't do it all day, then you're not gonna have the same effects, but I'm not really an advocate for it anyway. There's other things you can do. I'm hesitant to say this because wormwood's really good at doing it, but it can be really bad for you. If you mentioned not being into intermittent fasting. Do you eat late at night? I try not to, but yeah, it happens. I'm not in it fasting at all. I actually made a video about that tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. I didn't know that my raisin said it has oil in the ingredients, but the fat content says zero. That all right, so that's confusing. So it says it does have oil in the ingredients, then chances are they fried it. A lot of dehydrated fruit was actually fried, not dehydrated. Yeah, I have wormwood, didn't do anything. There's no way. There's just no way. You might be looking for something that isn't there. The wormwood is about the strongest, or you got crap wormwood, one of the two. My trainer wants me to work out fasted to no, that's such a stupid idea. Such a stupid idea. Do not train fasted. Do not do that. That because there's free fat flowing in your bloodstream in the morning, and it's so bad for your heart. It's such a stupid idea. No, don't do it. When I talked to I gotta start setting this camera on something else. This Pritikin book that I got this camera set on, I mean, he's like he's very adamant against working out fasted. These fruit prices are insane. Haven't really noticed any difference. I haven't noticed any difference. I mean, I can get a box of a 40-pound box of bananas for $6.40. I don't think that's really expensive. I love your tips on brands of good fruit, like the bunny mangoes. Those things are good. And how to pick ripe fruit. I am so bad at, yeah. Honestly, the uglier it is, usually the more ripe it is. All prices are insane. All prices are insane. So if you can't afford these prices these days, just do starch. I know a lot of people that that I'm in the community with are against that, but if you can't afford the fruit, I mean, starch is the way to go. You still can get potatoes for 50 cents a pound. You still can get rice for $1 a pound. It's really not that expensive. If you can't afford like the cans of beans, and if you can't afford a lot of this stuff, if it's too expensive, which I can understand, and if you have an instant pot, just buy a huge bulk thing of beans and rice and all that, and just if you got an instant pot, make the beans in the instant pot, and if you got like an actual rice cooker, make the rice in there. Do you think a fruit diet is doable for long term, mixed in with some leafy greens? Yeah, if you got the money or the access for it. Top 5 fruits if you could only choose 5. Cherimoya, bananas, dates, mangoes, and watermelon. Just do smoothies, the fiber in it still. Huh? Yeah, the fiber, I mean, the fiber's not going anywhere. It's like the fiber went into the container. It's still there when it came out. It didn't evaporate. I'm only looking at organic though. I would stay away from that. Yeah. I would look at which fruit looked better, because a lot of the organic is garbage these days. Search out some deals. Yeah, go with what is on sale. My berries are BOGO. No, I get those, but you can't live off berries. I mean, they're a nice additive. Or frozen's a good way to go too. I mean, most of the frozen fruit at Costco is organic. So and there at least it's not gonna go bad. Thoughts on canned fruit? I like canned fruit. I know a lot of people have different opinions on canned fruit, whether or not it's got the BPA's in it and all the other stuff leaching in it. Heading out. All right, see you, Sandy. uh, I'm not a huge fan. I don't love it. I don't love it. The peaches are all right. Pineapples are all right. I've got a can of mango up there that I've been nursing for like a year. I don't even want to open it. Over there, I got some lychees in a can. Yeah, I mean, I would not base my diet around it. I wouldn't want to base anything around it. No, next week will be something else. What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, like as far as something on sale next week? Yeah. Yeah, the one to watch this time of year for being on sale is mangoes. They'll start being on sale because they're abundant this time of year. They're I mean, like that top 5 that somebody just asked me, I would say mangoes is probably at the top of that. I just kinda named 5. Those are my cherimoya 100% is my favorite fruit. They're just so expensive, but cherimoya is like 100%. Plus other things are on sale. I got 4 on sale, so this week it's grapes, berry, and mango. It's not even grape season. Frozen, a great suggestion. Yeah, frozen might be a good way to go for a lot of people. If you don't have a high-speed blender, if you don't have a good blender, just thaw it out a little bit before you make it, like if you're making a smoothie. Yeah, I've used some cheaper blenders over the years, and I would just, thaw the stuff out. My sister, I sent her like, a Vitamix, and she said it was too big, so she won't use it. So, I should have just given it to somebody else, but so she's got this Vitamix sitting in her house that she won't use because it's too big. But when I go over there, sometimes I'll use that or I'll just use her cheap one. I'm not gonna live off berries. There's other things on sale also. Yeah, I mean, you can't live off berries. I got the bullet blender. Oh man, I broke like 2 of those things. Those things, I'll never again. But if it works for you, it works for you. I don't like buying cheap anything. If I can't afford something at the time, then I just won't buy it. I'll live without. I don't like cheap stuff. Just breaks. I mean, I've had this blender for a decade now, if not a little longer. I know people have had their Vitamix for like 30 years. I don't even know what they are anymore, like 300, $400. The bullet, I mean, I broke the first 2. I use my regular, I use my warranty service. So what I do, I know this is such an asshole move, but what I'll do is I'll buy something, and if it breaks, then I'll buy that exact same item and take the old one back and say, "Man, this thing broke real quick," and they'll just give me my money back. Do you think Sandy is coming back to live with you because she misses you? I mean, who wouldn't miss me? I have no idea. She didn't like it out in Arizona. I told her, if she needed a place to stay, that she could come live with me for a bit, and we'll see what happens. You can live off potatoes only. Yeah, you can. I mean, it might get boring. And the studies that show that a lot of the potatoes were fried, so it wasn't exactly like they were mashed potatoes or anything like that. That's the most interesting thing about the Khan study. What was that, 1905 or 13 or something? It was in the 1900s, but that study was done with fried potatoes, and those people still lost weight. So, that makes you really wonder about this whole oil thing. Not that I'm saying to eat oil, but yeah, those people still lost weight off those potatoes. All right, I gotta go make dinner, so I think I'm gonna get off of here. But is Sandy vegan? Oh yeah, yeah. Sandy's vegan. If not, how does that work? Yeah, no, she's vegan. Black and Decker personal blender is good also. Uh, sure. Yeah, I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. I just I love I think I like Vitamix so much just because their headquarters is like 10 minutes away from me. Enjoy your rice. Yeah, I got rice tonight. Yeah, I mean, Vitamix's world headquarters is a couple minutes from me. So if I have problems or if I need to just go get another one, I can like literally hop on the freeway and be there in about 20 minutes. I think that's why I'm such a big I'm a Cleveland freak. I like to support my own people. I mean, because they're actually made here still. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's about it. To anybody who's joined on, you guys have any questions or comments or anything before I get off? Uh, the thing fluctuates so much, I can't tell who's on here and who's not. No. All right. I will see you guys. Maybe I'll do one on Sunday. Let me know down in the comment section if you want to do one on Sunday, if you're going to be around. Have a good one. All right. I think I said, I don't know what else to say. I've had my bullet for 5 years. Awesome. Looking into, yeah, vacuum blending is the best thing. Yeah. Whenever the Vitamix does go, I'll probably get a vacuum blender. I'm hoping Vitamix will actually finally make one. All right. Peace.